Matter is broken down into two categories. The first category is pure substances. Pure substances are also broken down into categories, first being elements. Elements are substances that cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical means. So, things like hydrogen, carbon, and aluminum, or anything else found on the periodic table. The second category for pure substances are compounds. These are substances that contain two or more atoms combined in fixed proportions. They always have to be of the same proportion. So things like water, salt, and sugar are always going to be the same proportions. The second category for matter are mixtures. Mixtures are also broken down into two types, one being heterogeneous, visibly different parts and is not uniform throughout, like pizza, trail mix, and salad. So no matter what sample you take of these, you're going to get a different composition for each one, for each sample. The second type of mixture is homogeneous mixtures. These do not have visibly different parts, and they are uniform throughout. So things like Kool-Aid and coffee and whipped cream are going to be the same regardless of when you take the sample or where you take the sample from. Kool-Aid is always going to taste the same. Separation techniques of these compounds or of these of matter are a little bit different for each one. So we separate compounds through electrolysis using electricity. We separate heterogeneous mixtures through distillation, crystallization, chromatography, and filtration. So if we look at distillation first, distillation is used in liquid-liquid mixtures, and it uses different boiling points to separate them. So if you look here in step number one, we have a mixture and we're going to heat it up to the boiling point of the alcohol. And then that alcohol condenses and we get the alcohol to the right and the water to the left. Crystallization, we use boiling or evaporating the liquid so that only the solid crystals remain. So on the left, we have a copper sulfate solution and we are heating that up to where the water evaporates. And so on the right, you can see as the water evaporates, the copper sulfate crystals begin to appear. Chromatography is used to separate pigments and inks, and it separates colors based on different polarities. So here you have on the left the beginning where you have an ink spot on the bottom, and then you have your water, which is the mobile phase, and at the end there you can see on the right that it's separated into its different colors. So each color has a different polarity, so it's going to separate and rise to a different level on the paper. Along with chromatography is the term like dissolves like. It means polar substances will dissolve in other polar substances, nonpolar substances will dissolve in other nonpolar substances, and substances with opposite polarities will not dissolve into each other. TRACIN is a little bit more straightforward. We use it to separate parts of a mixture based on size. So here we have a mixture of sand and water. We put it through a filter with some filter paper, and the smaller water molecules filter through and the larger sand particles are left in the paper. So in summary, we have matter is broken up into pure substances and mixtures. Pure substances are broken up into elements and compounds, while mixtures are broken up into homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. And then there's some examples in each box there to show you, which is which.
Created using Powtoon.